Well guys, my good friends of YouTube, today I'm back at the yard with the high voltage switch gear and God knows what. So today I'm going to do a video for you and show you something new. You're not going to believe this, you're really not. It's not high voltage, but just look at this. Just going to put my hand over. Just while I pause it 1 second. Check that. That is a V16 diesel generator. From the 1960s, around about that year. 1970s, something like that. And it's not been run since 2005, if I remember rightly. What a beast. There's a bit of a step there, so I don't want to fall down there. This is started by air. So there's one of the air cylinders just there, which goes round and injects air into the cylinders, which pushes them down basically like a steam engine, and starts it up, gets it to a RPM and starts the fuel running, and then engages it. And the chap here has got all the switch gear. What should I say? He's got all the control gear for it. Just absolute porn, really is. So let's start over here. There's one of the plaques just there. I'll get closer down to the engine for you in a minute, guys, and tell you a bit more about it down there. Diesel overload, diesel fuel. So hopefully by the end of this year, 2020, you'll have it running. So yes, I shall be down here with the camera and I shall be filming the start. And guys, just to let you know that I will be at some point going to a running power station. Well, not a power station, you know, like a grid, and I shall be filming around there sometime in the future. But this thing is absolutely amazing. There's the battery bank to start everything, to have everything running in case of a power cut. There's some of the batteries. There's quite a few of them. I think it's up to 110 volts, I believe. There's a few things written on which dead and across, just to let people know that it's all been disconnected before removal. Of course, you can just pause the video, guys, if you want to look at what I'm going past. There's your lines cut here, look. Apparently this is for the, this is a timer for the lubricant of the engine. I think it's every 5 minutes or something. It keeps things churning for it, for the engine. There's your big contacts. Let's look in the back of this. Be careful I don't fall down there. Look in here. Got my torch on me. torch. There we go. That's behind those gauges, guys. Aren't they beautiful? I think these are resistors, aren't they, inside of these? Some connection points there. He said he's got all the paperwork and everything to wire this thing up. It basically runs itself by relays and timers, which is absolutely amazing. Some of the fuses there, look, which will go onto here. This is generator station control. Brilliant. Give you a slow panel. Look at those resistors. Just think somebody has basically written and done all this schematic on paper. It's absolutely crazy. This is inside where the batteries go, guys. It's crazy that this was actually going to go to scrap. Can you believe that somebody was going to scrap everything? So yeah, this was basically, it couldn't be trusted to be run anymore, apparently, what I was told. And it was going to be scrapped basically, and it was only worth a ton, £150, UK pounds a ton. But of course, to scrap it and all the year to use it, to cut it up and everything, and it just wasn't feasible. So they were stuck with it. So my friend, he basically had it. He, sorted everything out to get this thing taken out of the building. A wall had to be taken out to remove it. And then of course it had to be lifted off the ground and low loader put underneath of it and lowered onto the back of the truck and then brought here, and it was quite a lot of work to do it, and it took quite many months, should I say, to work out and prepare and get everything in gear to get this sorted and removed. So this was just going to be trashed. And this V16 diesel, I can't remember how many horsepower. I think it's about 2,000 horsepower. There's only been 9 of these made ever, and it was made by Allen. Yes, just Allen there. And the company isn't going anymore, but it's not the company Allen isn't there no more, but still you can still find out bits and bobs from them. They're still going in effect of where they'll give information and whatnot. But what my friend Mark was telling me, there's quite a lot that involves this thing to be back up and running again, but he's already started. This is more switch gear for it. These are the main relay switches that engage the power. Those there, just that there, if you can see that there, that switch, which will go under this, the main unit will go inside of there, which will be switched by this, controlled by this, should I say. I can see me, at this time of the month, I can see me breath, it's that cold. This is a heater for it. And that's, if all fails, that's an oil pump to get that bit of oil onto all the connecting parts, moving parts should I say. And a treat for you guys, I've got one of the blow doors off the side taken off to show you inside. Now this is absolutely beautiful. And the bottom of there, look at that. You can imagine how much oil it would take to fill this thing, probably about 2,000 litres or something. Bloody lot of oil, I can tell you that now. Well, just look at those bearing housings there. That camshaft that goes all the way through it. It's absolutely massive. An amazing piece of engineering. And there's from your bottom of your valves, your rocker there. Your valve bottoms there, which are pushed up by this cam rod. And this one for this side is that one there, where my finger's just here, is basically for the air start, but this side doesn't have it, only the other side has it, so this one's vacant for the rod that comes down and sits on this, which this mark here would push it up. These are the blast doors. These are basically got a valve on the other side of this which is under pressure from a spring, and of course if any explosions in there, when the oils turn to a vapour and explodes due to the bearing getting so hot, it basically glows and ignites the air, the mist. It will blow this out and the flames will come out the bottom of there instead of blowing the panels off. In theory that's what happens, but there's been apparently quite a lot of incidents from these doors being blown off. You know, look, that's one of these, that's one of those on the other side of it, look. And this basically stops the flames from going through. Well, inside of it, if I can move that and hold the torch and the phone as well, it's quite heavy, these are. If you can see inside of there, God, it's hard to, there you go, look, there it is. Yeah, they're not light, these things. I think this weighs about 60 tons. These are the water piping, fresh and dirty water. So the fresh, decent water, clean water should I say, would be for most of the cooling of the engine, and then of course the dirty water would cool this down, which is the, I'm trying to think of the word of it now. Train going past. This basically, the heat of the engine comes through here, the hot water and that, and this basically cools it down with cool water. There's like loads of veins inside of there, like a radiator sort of thing. I can't think of the name, guys, I'm sorry. My mind is a blank. There's the piston. Each piston has got a thermostat just there to tell you what the temperature of each one is. And of course that can be controlled from the other side, which I'll show you in a minute. Well, both sides you basically lift these up and you can go down and fiddle a fuel screw which changes the temperature to ensure that each one is the same temperature. Well, let's go around and have a look on the top. Look at those turbos. Holy shit, they're massive, aren't they, those turbos? Temperature. So basically that is your exhaust from the turbos. Look at that. Some serious heat. It's only had about 400 hours of use apparently. back end of the turbos. Absolutely amazing. Right, let's get on top and have a look. Right, there we are on top. Each one of these is a cylinder. These are all your oil, fuel, oil lines to basically make sure everything's oiled up. These are your valves. Look at those springs, the size of my bloody finger. But as I was telling you about those gauges, these here, you would basically adjust, where is it? These. You basically adjust this bolt here to ensure that it's the same, they're all the same temperature. And this is your air line that comes in here from the compressor, and that will go down into there and into this is basically being controlled with that piston, that rod, and then it'll come up. Where does it come up? Comes out of here and then blows down into the cylinder. You get what I mean, don't you guys? It's absolutely a beautiful work of art. I just can't get over the size of those turbos, guys. Absolutely huge. These are spare air filters for the top of the turbo. And going back on here, this is the brains of it all. This ensures that the engine is basically in phase with the 50 hertz, or in phase with the voltage and the hertz and everything, and this controls everything. This is a work of art. Inside of here is all gears and clockwork, and it's absolutely brilliant. Here's your little oil oil. Look at that. I mean, look at the work of art on that. That little tiny oil fill. And that's your oil level just there. I'll tell you what the spec of this thing is in a minute, guys. I'll show you the plaques. Oh, and you see this. I bet some of you know what that's for. You can basically get a big bar in there and turn it. And that is the flywheel. And look at the bloody size of that flywheel. What a work of art. All these copper pipes. Absolutely amazing. Here's your exhaust. Right, let's get down and have a look, shall we? Oh, before we go, see if I can hold my phone in this. Right, these. So that's in stop, and normally when it's not run, you'd have this over the top to stop anybody from messing about with it. And of course, when it's left to run, if the grid needs it, you basically leave those by your foot. This is for the air, and that one's for the fuel. And that's how it'd be left running. And then of course, the computer up there, the computer, or should I say the switch gear up there, would basically tell this solenoid when, I can't even see it because I'm not even looking at it, would tell this solenoid whether to cut the air on and off. And this basically shuts it on and off by everything up there. And it all controlled by relays and switches. and just think somebody would have drawn all this all up on paper and put it to design, and this is what you get from it. Absolutely amazing. And someone was going to scrap it. Mental. Right. This is an alternator, basically, the generator side. And let's look at the plaque on here. Take a screenshot, guys, if you want to. 6.6 thousand volts. Look at the date, 1965. 750 RPM. Basically classed as a mid-speed running generator, this is. Because then, of course, anything below, I think it's 300 RPM, it's classed as a low RPM generator. Low speed, and this is classed as a mid-speed. Anything over 1000 RPM would be classed as something of like a high speed. So this is a medium speed generator. Let's look at any more plaques on this. There's one just there, look. Sorry, I don't want to flash it out with the torch too much. There you go. Trying to keep my arm as, stop it from shaking as much as possible because I'm reaching out. And here's another one. There's a tappet clearance. Oh my god. Amazing, isn't it, how all these things... Because with generators, people at one point were selling the plaques because they were worth quite a bit of money at one point. I don't know, well, they are still worth quite a bit of money, and people were still pinching them basically at power plants. You know, the workers were pinching the plaques off them and selling them on eBay. It's sacrilege, isn't it? There's the one off this. It's like I think this is like a governor. This thing. Exciter, there you go, AC exciter. See if I can focus in. There's another one there, but I can't get to it. There's the air canister. This will basically give it, I think it's 3 or 6 runs. I think it's 3 runs. I think this will hold. And this will be, it'll fill up to 400 psi. Well, pounds actually, 400 pounds of pressure there on that one. I think it's 400 psi. Let's have a look, shall we, guys? That's a danger. That's pressure, 320 psi. There you go. I forgot to tell you actually as well, on the airline, to start to basically go into the pistons, there's a blowout point. So if the pressure exceeds, I think it's 150 or 160 psi, you've got a disc which will blow out. It's micro, I think it's basically machined to such a thinness, it will enable it to blow out. So there's no back pressure which will come back into the tank and cause an explosion and whatnot. So so your fuel, I think that's your fuel, that side there. That's for the fuel pump and whatnot. It's an amazing piece of art, isn't it, guys? God, nearly tripped up then. Come on, check this. This is a bell ringer. You don't really see these about. It's a GPO. The GPO is in the bottom and the high voltage is in the top. But check inside of here. Yes, you can guess. Oops. Get the torch in there a bit, shall we? You've got it. That is a little Mercury switch. And it's basically controlled by a little... This would gets the ringer to go ring off, ring off, ring off. And to isolate it, you see that there is a glass rod to isolate it from the bottom, which in the bottom, of course, is like a little solenoid sort of thing, which would basically push it up. And this was on the wall in the building where this diesel generator was. What a piece of art. That is absolutely lovely. I'm just putting this thing away now. Put it back covered up, because you don't want to knock this thing and break that little mercury vial in there, because you don't want mercury everywhere. And plus, I don't think you can buy one from your local shop, local hardware shop. Can't really get that thing in there now, it's because I screwed that side in. Need a little bit of play, there we go. If you're wondering what's wrong with my hand, guys, that's a scar. I got burnt by hot fat when I was a little kid. I was about 9 years old, if some of you know and some of you don't. So there you go. That's what's wrong with my hand. I'm not really old. I'm only mid-40s. Right, look at this one there, look. That's a bit of a notice. This machine is automatic start. Right, so you're wondering where the transformer is for this, aren't you? It's here. Of course, a long story, I'm not going to go into it, but the oil is taken out and the transformer. So it's a bit of a poor state there, unfortunately, but let's look on the plaque on here, shall we? Just pause it, guys, when you want to look at it better. There's the cooling side of it, the radiator side. And then the plaque there, secondary, 400 to 1, 400 to 1. So this is basically the input, the 6.6 kV from the generator. And of course this would drop down to 415 output here. This is basically for the workings of the station where this transformer was. The generator. It would feed all the lights and everything else. It'd be low current, but 415 volts. Air insulated chamber, air insulated chamber. Let's have a look inside. And there's the bushings for the main output just there of the transformer. There's a little bit of oil down the bottom there. See if I can focus that in. There we go. Smell the oil, it's bloody gorgeous. There's one of the oil reservoirs for the radiator there. Another one on the other side. Yeah, Celsius, lot of the oil. It's a wicked little gauge that, isn't it? Sorry guys, I'm blinding it out. I mean, just look at the size of it. Apparently they have these engines in big ships, you know. Well, yes, there's quite a lot to this thing. And all this basically eventually is all going to be on this back wall. He's having this back wall painted just here now. Chap's just gone for a coffee or a tea or whatever. And this room basically is going to be changed quite a lot. And once you come in through this door, it'll be like a step back into the 1970s, because he's going to have all old lights, and you know, he's going to have a bit of a walkway up here, a gangway sort of thing going across this back wall here. It's going to look pretty damn good, and I will be here videoing it for you guys. So do you remember this lot? Well, that lot used to be on this back wall, and of course it's in here now, for now. And that's that steam engine. And there's a forklift. Yeah, look, inside one of these. Here's one of the piston rods out of that engine, and inside there is one of the actual pistons themselves. I think they're about 8-inch, you know, diameter, wide, should I say, 8-inch wide. Quite a big piston. So yeah. Sure, my ears nice for you. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I thought I'd share that with you. I told you I was going to come back and do another video here. I think that's all I've got to say. I hope you're all very well, and you know, hope you all enjoyed the video. If you want anything else to know about it, just give me a comment down below. I'll try and answer to the best of my knowledge. But yeah, that thing is a beast, and I'm really looking forward to when this thing actually gets running, because that is going to be a video and a half. And when I get to go to a working station, can't think of the bloody name now, I'm so sorry, my brain is just a running power station, not a power station, oh god, it's one in there, but I just can't get it out. But you know what I mean. When I do that, I'll do a video of that as well and show that. So if you're new to my videos, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, I don't mind. And please give me a comment down below. If you can thumbs up for me, that would be fantastic, because not a lot of all you give me a thumbs up. You'll watch the video and not thumbs up or thumbs down. Let me know what you think of it, okay? Be safe. Nice to see you all, guys, and we'll speak again. What a beauty. Just save that, guys, as your wallpaper. Yeah, let's hold on, let's come back a bit more for you. Just save that there like that as your wallpaper on your PC or phone or whatever. Take care, guys.